Hello there, Master Hellish here. Welcome to Times Gone. Now, I was looking through my yearbook. This is my actual yearbook, and I was looking through it and I had lots of thoughts and feelings, and I had a very prominent opinion that when I looked through at the pictures of the people from my past, I thought to myself, wow, cameras were crap back then. The quality of the images are surprisingly poor. You forget how things move on until you look backwards a little bit. This was evidenced the other night when I had the geeks round and we were doing a bit of role playing, and of course the World Cup's been on recently. We were checking out some of the games and some of the scores, and turned the telly on, and Lady Hellish had been using the telly last, and it was on standard definition channel. And we looked at the football and we went, what? What is this? And then we flicked to the HD channel. I was like, ah, this is what we know. And I looked back and I was like, go back to the standard definition a moment. And we looked at it and I was like, how did we cope with this before? I mean, I remember when HD first came out, people looked at it and going, whoa, not really any difference, really, is there? And I remember thinking that myself at one point at the very beginning. I mean, you had to put them side by side and try and pick and go, oh yeah, it is a little bit better. I mean, I can't believe that now. I mean, looking back at the pictures and the resolutions that we used to use for digital photos and cameras, it's amazing. I looked at some old photos that I took on one of my first camera phones the other day, and when now you take a photo and it comes up on the screen and you see a photo on the screen and it looks like a photo on the screen like you would have done with any photo, you look at a photo from back then and it's like this big on the screen and you have to zoom in and it's just a bunch of pixels and you go, what is this? Are we losing our ability to actually see these bunch of pixels for what they were in the photo? And well, the answer is obviously no, because that's not real a thing, is it? It's just a thing I made up. But it's weird how that as we move on and as technology moves on, we get so used to what is now that the past stuff that was now seems inadequate. So what do we have now that is going to seem rubbish, no good, inadequate? Possibly, I would say HD is probably one thing that people are going to look at in the past and go, we used to have tellies that did that. I mean, think about it. When the people progressed to colour, there was a few people that said that colour TV was just a fad, a gimmick, that nobody would even want it. I mean, now you don't get black and white telly. I mean, a few years ago a film came out that was in black and white, and I think that confused a shed load of people, but that's beside the point. That was a nostalgic thing. You just use it now. It's part of the norm. When you go back, it seems wrong. It seems old. What else is going to happen? Yeah, because of the new inventions in TV, we're just coming into the 4K revolution. There's not a lot of 4K media coming to us yet, but that will happen. And even though we probably don't crave 4K now, once we all have it, once we've all got new tellies for one reason or another over the next 5 or 6 years, when people naturally buy new TVs anyway, we're going to look back and think, ugh, did we used to watch it on that? And there's so many other things that I just look around, different pieces of technology. I mean, the computer I have today, it seems really, really old and knackered to me. I mean, I want a new one. I mean, it does what I want it to do, but come on, I'm a geek. I want a new computer. What did they say? Is the hard drive half full or half empty? Well, a geek would upgrade it anyway. So, but yeah, when I first built that machine, I looked at it and went, this is a powerhouse, it's got 6 cores. Who would ever need 6 cores? Most programs don't even know how to use cores. And yeah, I mean, okay, I've had to take a stick of RAM out of it and shoot it with an airsoft gun, but that's beside the point. Now it just seems adequate, and it won't be long before I'm thinking, I really, really have to upgrade. It's crazy. I mean, even the computer that I'm using now, that I was using for the League of Super Ultra Mega Geek server, it just doesn't seem enough. And yet, you know, go back a couple of years, it's way more than adequate. I mean, I have no idea how this rate of technology is just going to keep advancing. I mean, you look at TVs, I've already mentioned 4K. 8K is already been, you know, they've already sorted that out. So that will be coming at some point, and it will be even better. But on a standard sized TV of up to, I think it's around 50 to 60 inches, the human eye can't measure anything or perceive anything above 8K. So I think 8K might be the stop of the resolution war on TVs. But there's so many other things. I mean, 3D is pretty much standard with all new TVs now. Is it? No, it's not. No, but it could be. And it's one of those things that people, oh, it's a fad. We had that millions of years ago. Well, actually, back then in all those years, it was a different type of 3D, and you compare the two now, it's a whole different depth, a whole different set of colour ranges. It's a different technology, and it's moving on. It's just scary looking back. And now I'm at the age where I'm old enough to look back properly. Whereas when you're growing up and you're younger, you don't always remember the smallest memories. But I mean, remote controls. When I was young, remote controls came out, and the first remote controls that we had a cable. You had to unwind the remote control, go over to the TV, plug it into the front or side or back, and then walk back across the room, laying the cable down behind you and put it nicely on the armrest. You had a remote control. It wasn't wireless. It wasn't wireless in the slightest. But these days we take wireless remote controls and everything like that for granted. It's weird just how things move on so quickly in just such a small space of time. And it's very rare that you see something and look at it when it's a few years old in technology. And the thing that I'm now baffled at, the reason why I've got this expression on my face right now is because I'm now thinking the opposite. I'm not thinking of looking back in the history. I mean, we've gone back from our HD Vision 4K era back to looking at standard definition and back to colour, black and white TV. You know, standard definition wasn't that long ago, and the changes that we've had wasn't that long ago. If you go forward, not that far forward, what's going to be around the corner? It's very hard to think what might be ahead, given the rapid advance we've got. Yeah, I think I've boggled myself now with this one. If you haven't enjoyed this, I'm either talking rubbish or you haven't got the capacity to think in the same way. I think it's probably the first one. But no, I mean, even things like quadcopters. We've had the concept of quadcopters for years, but it's only recently where the batteries have come to a technological point where they're light enough and powerful enough to keep things going for long enough, and the electronics to control them has advanced to the point where it can be consumer available. You can go out and buy one for 20 quid if you really want, and if you find the right shop, and just fly it around your street like I did. It's amazing to think what might be coming, and I think things like quick deliveries by automatic drones from the internet. You will just maybe pop out into your garden, roll a sheet, a special sheet down in the garden perhaps, with a special kind of pattern on it, and a drone will come along, lock onto that pattern, come down, land, and leave your parcel behind. Of the item that you'd ordered on the internet 20 minutes ago. It's weird to think that that could happen, but why not? We've got astronauts in space orbiting the Earth constantly at 17,500 miles an hour, I think. I mean, short term, 3D printers, they're going to be one of the next big things. Even if it's a quiet change, it's going to make a big change. 4K is coming, there's no stopping it. 8K will eventually come. If you haven't realised it, physical media is going to be dead. There's going to be no CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays and that sort of thing. There's going to be Let me go backwards a bit. There's no cassettes, no vinyl. I'm not saying no completely, but what I mean is in the mainstream, it's all gone. It's all going to be in the cloud. It's all going to be streaming. It's all going to be on demand. It's all going to be on the fly, because we're going to have the technology to deliver it in a quick enough way. It's technology. It's crazy and it's life-changing, and I wonder what sort of world that my kids are going to grow up in, and how it's going to be shaped, and what sort of wonders they will have to use that they won't even think they're wonders. They're just everyday things. Well, thank you very much for watching. As you can tell, well, you can probably tell there was no script for this one. I don't tend to use scripts. I don't know why, I just don't. Tough. So, yes, thank you very much. If you want to leave a comment, I'd be interested to know what you think, A, the next big thing is, in short-term times, and possibly B, what you see coming up in the next maybe 25 years. What big thing that we wouldn't possibly perceive now could you think would happen? Well, thanks again. Leave your comments and I'll try and reply very soon. And goodbye for now.